What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Liberal Loudmouth, and we're back again for another episode. This is my Monday, although it's Tuesday. It's my Monday, so I haven't started my TikTok yet. You guys know how I do it. I've got to do yet another intro. Let's kick this thing off, get it going right. And again, if you want to be on the panel, you need to find me on TikTok, same name. And matter of fact, let me adjust something here. I think my shit's kind of fucked up. There, I think it moved a little bit. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Oh, there we go. I think I got it. I don't know what happened. Anyway, let me go live here. Hodling MAGA. Seems appropriate. Go live. What is up, everybody? It's your boy, the Liberal Loudmouth, and we are live again. Don't think it's super fan only. I didn't check. Usually I have to select that, but it should be fine. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me reset my gifting goal for a minute. Edit this. Support the live. And delete. What's up, y'all? Come on in. Don't be scared. I'm just setting my gifting goal here. Gonna start off with some roses because they're so pretty. We like the pretty roses. There we go. 50 roses. Rose. It's funny because yesterday I went live and like immediately hit over 50 and I wasn't even trying to get anybody in. I was trying to test something out. Let's see if there we go. All right. So we are still in MAGA land, which exists somewhere east of the Twilight Zone, which is between Narnia and Donald Trump's golden closet. Still trying to find my way out. I thought I saw the clothing and I was going to go exit, but turns out, no, it's just fake. It's all Twilight Zone. Okay. It's like the Audubon of the Twilight Zone and we're just fucking careening into the shit. But guys, don't worry. We can't call them fascists. Okay. Because apparently that's violent rhetoric. As opposed to, you Marxist, commie, socialist, hating America. That's not violent, apparently, but you use the term fascist and they get upset, you know. We should all fight. What's up, El Rocho? Ain't seen you in a minute. How are you doing? We shouldn't all fight, Rocho. We should not. I'm being sarcastic here, by the way, guys. To point out the ridiculousness of some of the shit that I see from people crying and whining. We have issues in this country, but I don't think they're the same issues that MAGA wants you to think they are. Oh, we got our first guest, Angel. Let me get something going. So before I bring anybody up, I want to play this clip here. It's a little old. So I'm trying to plug my phone in. It's a little older clip, but I feel like it's still relevant. So let me put this shit up here on the other screen. I've got to move it over. So give me just a second. I just clipped it right before. Matter of fact, that was why I was 5 minutes late. So just sit tight, Angel. I mean, some of you may have already seen this clip, but it just speaks to this authoritarianism that we're seeing, right? And here we go. It's the Mango Mussolini is about to give us a speech on Air Force One.
Who would you like to see replace Kimmel on late night?
Well, a lot of people, anybody could replace him. The guy had no talent. Kimmel he was fired, he had no talent. He's a whack job. But he had no talent, and more importantly than talent, he had no, because a lot of people have no talent, they get ratings. But he had no ratings. Colbert, I think. They got rid of Colbert, which was a good thing to do. And look, that's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party.
So this is why the prompt is what it is. We have to baby them, right? Because this is just this guy. You notice he talked about Kimmel, who, by the way, is going to be coming back, which I don't give a shit. I'm not going to watch that programming either anyway. But he briefly covers Kimmel, but then he goes into the real reason that he was upset in the first place. It had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. It had everything to do with him. It was because they hit Trump. They hit Trump. That's all they ever do. Their broadcast license, they shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to, as the media or a broadcast network, you shouldn't be able to criticize me. He's a walking fucking crybaby. And that is why he wanted to go after Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think he gives a shit about Charlie Kirk. I don't think he gives two fucks about Charlie Kirk. They're going to find something to be pissed off about. And that's why I put this prompt up here, because Donald Trump is up there crying, oh, it's okay, Donnie, it's going to be all right. So with that said, let me bring in our first guest. Does it, Matt? It sounds weird. Angel, does my mic sound weird today?
A little. I mean, I can hear you.
Let me try something else. Does this sound better?
It's the same.
Let me try something. Hold on, I'm gonna have to do. Yeah, I know it's canceling. Well, that's not good. Primary speaker, primary microphone, AI noise canceling. Okay, hold on. I think I know what it is. Let me add. No, because that's gonna. Hold on real quick. Let me mute this fucking shit. Microphone. Mixcast. Add. Mute this. Now, does that sound better?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, it reset my, because it updated TikTok Live Studio, and it defaulted to another microphone, which I think is from my headset.
That's it sounds lower now.
Yeah. Okay.
It sounds lower, but you sound clearer.
Okay, so it's not loud enough, you don't think? Let me fix it real quick. I can increase the volume. Testing. Mic check. 1, 2.
Better.
All right. Did we get that? Did we get it figured out?
Yeah. I mean, you can't be liberal loudmouth without the loud.
Matt, I see you in the comments, sir. Tell me. Okay. I just wanted to scream a little bit and see how that worked. All right. Now, thank you guys for letting me know. I would have never known. I hate listening to myself. It throws me off. And I'm like, who the fuck is that weirdo? That said, let me, matter of fact, let me try to swap something back here. Testing. Does this still sound okay? Mic check? Okay. All right. That said, let me pull up your timer here. Everybody's going to get the 3 minutes interact. Okay. So what's up, Angel? And welcome aboard.
I'm doing okay. I think I told you, I hope you're doing well. I think I told you that I would reflect on what you said about the FCC and Jimmy Kimmel, government pressure, and then come back.
Yes.
So this is coming back. So I think you were right on the FCC. So I took a look at it, and you were right. I mean, it makes sense. Foreign policy you can't have government pressuring businesses like that, or coercing would probably be the better term in this case. I still don't like the guy. I still don't agree with what he said. at all. But
I mean, that's fair.
yeah, the government didn't have that right. So I'll start with that.
Yeah, and you have that right to say, fuck that dude, he's an idiot. And that's
Yeah.
okay too.
I did so there was one thing that I'm midway watching, but it's interesting. So a Russian financier close to Putin is saying that this administration is looking to short the dollar and erase all 37 trillion of debt and sounding the alarm. So he thinks that because the US dollar is the reserve currency, they're going to do the equivalent of using crypto to end the US dollar reserve currency status to do a reset where just like the equivalent, like if you print double the money, what ends up happening is, right, inflation goes up, right? So the prices would technically, go double, be doubled. But since a lot of people overseas hold US dollar, he's thinking of spreading that inflation globally across the whole entire world. And that's why a lot of other countries are looking on overthrowing the US dollar as the reserve currency. So it's interesting. I'm still learning
now,
about
so
it.
that's that you're saying that Russia has this intention.
No, Russia is accusing the U.S. of
Trying to do that.
of trying to do that. It's like they're looking to the reason why they're propping crypto up the way they are is because the crypto and gold is because they have the government can, because the U.S. dollar is the reserve currency, can revalue the dollar against the gold. I'm trying to find like a better way to explain this, but they're saying that in fact the U.S. can erase their debt, but it's going to be to the consequence of every single nation that holds U.S. debt. Which
I mean,
one?
So which currency or which like stable coins or crypto? What like with what? With what are they doing this?
Yeah, so that they're going to sell off all their gold, but they're going to revalue the U.S. dollar. Basically, let's just say if gold is 10 times, you could take 10 gold would buy. Uh, I don't know what the rate is, but they could set the metric for the comparison between gold to the U.S. dollar. So essentially, the U.S. can destroy their own currency and then say that look, we can use all of our gold in our reserve and essentially wipe out, the debt.
I don't know because like for example his stable coin and thank you Kristen for those roses. Also thank you Angel for the roses.
Yeah.
Like the stable coin that Trump is hawking around there with his world liberty bullshit is pegged to the dollar. So I'm not sure like how that works. I don't understand it myself.
I could send you a video that probably does a better job. I'm halfway, but it's intriguing because I'm like, why the interest, the staunch interest in crypto? Why the interest in the Federal Reserve board like overturning? Because the members there are not in favor of his plan. It's a radical plan, and it's like a great reset in terms of debt. So
well, if it's decentralized, that's one thing. But if Trump is holding the controlling mechanism, which he is with World Financial Liberty or World Liberty Financial, whatever the fuck they call it, then I have problems with that because one of the benefits of crypto is the fact that nobody like controls it, right? It's not as easily manipulated. It's just taking one controlling mechanism. That way, Trump and his family could then move on. If they controlled it, then they can continue to control it after he's out of office. And that's a problem.
Yep.
So I don't understand it well enough to really speak on it, but I appreciate you bringing it up. I don't know if maybe that's part of the rapture, and we're all going to heaven today. I don't know. Have you seen any heifers or trumpets today, Angel?
No, and I don't believe that.
Damn it.
Because the Bible said the man will not know the hour. So I mean, it's clear as day.
I'm just waiting for shit to start clearing out. You know what I mean? So I can go out and hunt without issue and do all the things that you'd like to do without being accosted by some rando crazy person.
I can't believe people. There are some people that sold off all their assets that believe in this.
Hey, Jim
garbage.
Jones.
So
Jim Jones. People are kind of nutty. But, well, Angel, I really appreciate you coming back up here and, acknowledging those things about the FCC. I do appreciate it. And, send me that link and I'll take a look at it because I really don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
All right, man. All right, I appreciate it. See you. All right. Tyga, I was going to bring you up. You were going to be the next one, but you dropped off. So, Petty. What's up, Petty?
Oh, not much. How are you this morning?
Pretty good, pretty good. So what brings you up? Okay. He just was raptured, guys. That was the first rapture victim, or I don't know if you can call them victims. Maybe they want to be raptured, but you saw that, right? Right in front of our eyes.
Right in front of our eyes.
We are the ones that are left behind. Okay. We're the left behind.
I'm thinking it might be tomorrow, though. It was the 23rd, the 24th. They didn't really pin it down to like a specific date.
And it could have been a time zone issue, right? Because
exactly.
Maybe it goes by time zone. So each time zone, it skips and then.
Yeah, I mean it's already the 24th in some places already, right?
Right. And see, I'm an atheist and I don't believe any of that bullshit. So I just think it's funny to watch.
See, I follow Jesus, and I grew up believing in the rapture.
So in your mind, so do you believe that it's coming at some point, just not right now?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No, the Bible says that no one knows. No one, not even Jesus, knows when he's coming back but God. So the fact that there's people on the internet telling us it's going to happen tomorrow or today, fuck them.
Well, but what about the heifer? Okay.
Which one?
They've got to. So the third temple, I think, has to be built, right? In Israel,
and Mike Johnson sent over a slew of red heifers to Israel last year. He did. Oh, man. But they have to be pure red heifers. They can't have any other strand of.
And see if they slaughter it and the rapture doesn't happen. That's all they'll have to say is be like, well, we thought it was pure, but it turns out it wasn't.
So do we have to wait a whole nother 2,000 years?
Perhaps. I think aliens will show up before that actually, like the rapture actually takes place. But that's just me speculating.
Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think you may be onto something.
I'm onto everything. Hey, I just wanted to come up here and bitch real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
About Debo. He's in another live right now, and I couldn't get up there to yell at him. So I'm going to yell at him right now.
All right, let's hear it.
He wanted to know what anybody could say good about Donald Trump and his terms. Obviously, nothing. So then they flipped the script and wanted to know what he could say that Biden did good during his term. And he said the PACT Act, which, yes, that was a great thing. And I wanted to let him know that not one single fucking Republican voted yes for that fucking bill.
Not one.
Republicans in the chat listening, Republicans don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about our veterans. They sure as fuck don't give a fuck about our kids. They only unless they're inside of a womb, which they will keep someone unalived for hooked up to a fucking machine so they can grow a baby inside of her body. Republicans don't fucking care about us. They care about power and they care about money. And they never vote for anything good for this entire country. So fuck you, Debo, and fuck every single fucking person on this fucking soil that we call the America. Fuck you. That's
all right. Hey, no, sometimes you just got to let it out. And speaking of something good that Trump has done, he did just sell a bunch of fucking planes, which is good for our economy. They sold a bunch of railroad equipment to another country, like Uzbekistan, I think. Had bought the Dreamliners, and Kazakhstan bought a bunch of like railroad shit. So, I mean,
well, and then also, we've pulled back military assistance and defense systems and everything for the Baltic states. Estonia, Lithuania, and another one. That's going to be real good for Putin.
Oh yeah,
that's just basically saying,
and for Trump,
they're here for the taking. Come get them.
See, Trump's paradise is actually in Russia, right? It's not in heaven. He knows he ain't going there. He's going to go to Russia, and he'll have, you know, all the pageant virgins that he wants, because that's what he craves.
Anyway,
Sick
I'll let
fuck.
you get back to business.
Well, thank you, Target. You know,
Thank you for letting me have a
sometimes-
moment to scream.
yeah, hey, sometimes you just got to let it out. It's better than putting holes in the wall, right?
That's true. I don't know how to mud and do drywall. So.
Exactly. Well, you have a good one. I'm going to bring in Milk That Cow. It should be interesting.
He was just on that same panel with Devo talking about how Tylenol causes autism. So good luck
then
with
he
that.
he can fill us in on the gaps there with Debo.
Oh yeah, he read the whole, or he looked at the whole report or whatever. Kudos for him for reading it. He's 21 years old, and to be a little bit into politics, I'll give him that. But he's a fucking idiot. Fuck you too, Milk.
Well, thank you, Target. We'll see ya. Peace. All right, guys. Here we go. Milk That Cow. What's up?
Hey, dude.
What's up, man?
Instead of telling someone to go fuck themselves, I'm not gonna say that. I hope you have a good day and good wishes to you, Target. But to preface my statement and want to, help clarify the gaps, to what she was alluding to, I just came from a panel that basically I stated my political affiliation, my age, and where I'm from, right? And this is important for the context, right? And I basically went up there and said, yeah, I don't know why RFK is bringing this to light now. It's actually been proven for literal decades that acetaminophen has direct links to autism and ADHD. It's been proven, right? And someone says, okay, well, if it's been proven, just name a source. Where's your closed source, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go straight to the horse's mouth, and I say, hey, I got a source right here from Johns Hopkins and Harvard University, two of the most prestigious medical universities in the entire country, right? And they looked at the one from Johns Hopkins said,
Oh, we're losing you, Milk. Milk, we're losing you. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. So the one from Johns Hopkins says, yeah, I can't hear you. You don't have any bars, but I can't hear you.
What? Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, my internet's being a little shaky. So they looked over 996 pregnancies over the span of 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 groups, and they're all based on dosage of acetaminophen. One with the lowest, second with a moderate, and then the third with a bigger dosage. And they found direct links between like 1.5 times more likely to have autism or ADHD. And then as you continue up the dosages, you see an increase. The moderate dose is 2.2 chance, and then with the higher dosages, it's at 3.6% chance, or times the chance that the likelihood of you having autism, right?
Okay.
And I presented these facts, right? And guess what happened? They said, "Oh no, it's not true. It's not true." So it's not like they didn't. Here's the thing. My guess is that they literally just heard my political affiliation and decided to disagree with literally everything I said. And they didn't even read the study. They tried to read the study and proved me right, and just said, "Oh no, it's a bunch of bullshit." I actually don't.
Okay. For the record.
I'd like to finish up. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to finish. I even said, right, I think RFK is kind of overdoing this, and I think he's just doing it to show that he's, working, or he's actually doing a good job, right? But this info, right, that he has presented to everyone, right? It's literally on the White House Gov. It's been out there for a long period of time. I don't know why he's only making light of this now. I just think he's doing it to show that he's doing work, right? But to be honest, he didn't really show anything that we didn't already know. And just because it's linked with RFK and Trump, somehow the left finds a way to vilify it, demonize it, and try and debunk it. I mean, this study is coming directly. These studies are coming from the most prestigious university medical schools in the entire country. The entire
Okay.
country.
Okay, so I've got to say, yes, there are studies that you can go to that say there is a positive association with Tylenol and, you know, the TISM. But there are also studies like this one, for example, and I'm going to link to it below, that says that it is not when you adjust
Not
for
from Harvard.
families. Well, I mean, look,
Not
you
from Johns
know,
Hopkins.
look, you can find a study to make any point, really. And so, you know, if you offer this information, I'm going to offer the opposite. I don't know whether it does or not, right? I know that they've said this for at least probably 10 years now that I'm aware of. And now we're moving in that direction. So people should not dismiss what they're saying and go and look up both sides of the research. And if you don't look up both sides of the research, you're not being a good you know,
Scholar.
arbiter of information. So it's important that you.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's
but
important.
You know what's even more concerning?
What's that?
You know what's even more concerning, liberal, is that I point blank range ask the women on the panel, right? Given the info that I've just presented from you, excluding what RFK's association with the matter or Trump's association with the matter, would you, in fact, still take acetaminophen given the opportunity during a pregnancy? And you know what every single one of them said? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, the options are limited when you're pregnant, right?
But isn't that concerning? Isn't that concerning?
It is. They need to find.
Concerning.
They need to find something though that they can take because you know, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Just you know, potentially be unalived? I mean, you know, what's the option there? Like, they need to find something that does not cross that barrier with children, which we know it does, and acetaminophen does, and it does it quickly. And that's why, you know, small doses, you know, may not cause issues. This is just based on the reporting that I've seen and the studies that I've read. It is what it is. You know, each mother is going to make their own decision with that based on the research because there is competing evidence here.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, I just find it very, very, very concerning to me that just because somehow conservatives are giving this talking point, right, that they're doing everything they can to not to, like, you know, de-justify it, you know, to, like, you know, say it's false, you know, it's fake news. Like, it's unbelievable, to be honest. And it's super alarming, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is also something that should be between the doctor and the mother, right? I don't like it when
be political.
Yeah, I don't like it when the government gets in between, you know, in the doctor's office. I don't like that. You know, that's the doctors are trained to do this, and you know, if you have shitty doctors doing shitty things, that's different. But the government should just kind of stay out of that.
Even now, you have someone in your comments section saying "fascist crybaby" with a bunch of baby bottles. Like, it's so unbelievably how fucking stupid, just ignorant these people are.
Berkeley makes a great point. Berkeley says, "I took no acetaminophen, and my daughter is autistic." I mean, and this is, you know, we've seen this before too, and this is actually borne out in some of those studies that show no association, right? Because you have these outliers, if you want to call it that, where either they took it, didn't get it, or didn't take it and did get it, right? Those all exist. So here's
the thing. Just because you took acetaminophen does not mean your child is 100% going to have autism, and the vice versa is true.
Right.
Just because you didn't take acetaminophen doesn't mean your child is going to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways. You can't just say it's a one-off thing, right? But does it increase the chances? Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know that we can say that. I don't know that we know beyond the shadow of a doubt that it does. Because I'm telling you, I know you're kind of young, right? In your 20s?
Yes, 21.
And otherwise it wouldn't be, you know, relevant. But growing up, man, I went through milk is bad, milk is good. Milk is bad, milk is good. I've gone through eggs are bad, eggs are good, I mean, they go back and forth. Every time a study comes out, they report on it the opposite way. I don't think half of them know what the fuck they're doing anyway.
Yes,
they're just,
but here's the thing.
5 years down the road, they'll be like, look, we looked at all these studies.
When you conduct your research, what do you go to first? You go to the most, you know, credible resources that you can find, right? And
Sure.
in this case, I would argue, right, in terms of science, right? We're talking about specifically science. I would argue that these two medical journals are the top tier. They're the top tier echelon of the field.
And who paid for the study? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you off of the top of my head.
Yeah, you might look in there for conflicts that they may have put in there. I mean, there's, even throw that into ChatGPT and ask, what are the problems with the methodologies? And usually you can find things that maybe you wouldn't have seen. ChatGPT is pretty good at that. There's a way to nitpick things. I could probably take the study that you're looking at and go and find 10, 12 different things that were problematic in their study. Especially if it was a cohort study.
Saying, they had 3 groups, all with different dosages of acetaminophen, and each time the dosage increased within the range, they saw higher concentrations or an increased likelihood of autism or ADHD.
Can you link to that study or send it to me? DM it to me. Because I've probably seen what you're talking about, but I've looked at so many studies since yesterday. It's
straight from Johns Hopkins. I'll pull it up real quick if you give me the chance.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I am on a time constraint. I tell you what. Let me go ahead and drop you down because I feel
I'll
like.
Go ahead and DM it to you later.
And then,
if that's okay.
Yeah, and you're welcome to come back up in a little bit. On this or another topic. In a minute.
If you want to look for it, you can look up the press briefing straight from the White House government. It's some of the stuff that RFK did talk about.
Sure.
Right? It's straight. You can find the link either on the internet or straight from whitehouse.gov. I mean, it's one of the most recent.
Well, if you've read it, just find that link and just pew it over to me. And
Well, see, the thing is, I'm on my phone right now, and I read it on my iPad, but I can look it up real quick.
Oh,
but I know you're on a time constraint, so I can DM it to you.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work, man. I appreciate it. Interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, and guys, there are studies, I'm telling you, I've read them that do say what he's saying. There are studies that say the opposite of what he's saying. It's this is kind of how science goes, I guess. Benjamin, I see your request. Give me just a second. Since he was technically opposition, I'm going to let defending up first, and then I'm going to get to you, Benjamin. Defending. Oh, I guess defending took off. Let me try to find her in the room here. I accepted it, but then it disappeared, so I don't know what's going. There we go. There we go.
Good morning from Washington, D.C.
Things crazy out there still?
Good morning from Washington, D.C. Well, the both chambers are in recess, and we're coming into a partial shutdown here next week. So there's that. And so anybody that down in your comments that are Fed workers, if you're essential, you're going to start working without getting paid.
That's always nice.
1. Yeah, and doesn't that sound great?
Now, do they have statutes for back pay that require back pay after a shutdown?
So, of course, you get paid, obviously, when the government gets funded, right? But just during the partial shutdown for essential workers, so think, the airport controllers, they have to work, obviously, but they're not getting paid.
But they do and for sure will be paid after it's finally funded. They have to,
that's law. Okay. You have to pay people people can't work. It's not volunteer position. People are working to pay their mortgage. So you got to pay them.
I would assume so, but it's because the last one that we had under Trump's first term, how long was that? Like 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 40 days, 45 days. I forgot. Yeah, it was the longest in history. It was during his first term in 2019.
Fucking
and so
nuts.
we're coming up to another one. So yeah, that there's that.
They're making America great again, though. Defending. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
he's preparing us for the rapture.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't get me started on that, Tim. Oh, my God. What a joke. The rapture.
I'm sorry. I just...
rapture.
These videos, I've been seeing people just bawling their eyes out. Oh, I'll never see my kids again.
Oh, where are they? Oh, what? Where are they going?
Yeah. They're being raptured, I guess.
They're going to the rapture. Okay. Wow.
I don't know. I'm an atheist, so I don't.
I'm right there with you.
I don't buy into that. So when I see that, I'm like, on one hand, I feel for them because they really believe it, but on the other hand, I'm like, why are you believing this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was hoping I'd walk outside and there'd be nobody out there. All the houses are mine. It's like one of those apocalyptic movies you get to watch, Sorry, I've been yapping. Let me add some time back for you. Go ahead. You came up here for a reason. Go for it.
Well, So I just, wanted to, everybody's talking about the Tylenol thing, and I have 2 points. First point is that wait till these people find out about how pew-pews impact children. A. B. Their solution is a supplement that guess who owns? Dr. Oz. That's their solution to this. I mean, so the whole thing, yet again, is another example of the deep, deep corruption that's coming out of this White House. It is absolutely unconscionable to me. And there is people that believe this garbage, just like the people that think the rapture's coming, probably are going to believe all of this. Oh, Tylenol is bad. I mean, what do you think about that? What's your thoughts, Tim?
I'm not a scientist. I read these studies. I've seen both sides of this here, and in both studies that I've seen, I've run through ChatGPT. They both have methodology issues. So I don't really know. You know what I mean? I can't speak on it with any sense of authority because I just don't know. So apparently my live studio, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I don't know.
What is that? What happened?
It was saying I was having internet problems, which is weird because my internet is really, really fast. I don't know what the fuck that was. TikTok is on one. Anyway, so I really don't know. I can't say for sure one way or the other, so I'm not going to.
Right.
Let the experts debate it out. That's who I look to. I don't see RFK as an expert. I'm not necessarily going to listen to that guy and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, this is a guy that's, for 13 years was on the needle, and then he's got a worm in his brain.
Right.
And he looks like he's ready to he's like one step in the grave. And, we're going to listen to him.
From eating tuna sandwiches is what I hear is how he got that worm in his brain. Are
you serious?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And I think I read that somewhere that tuna can, if you eat a bunch of tuna, you're
in excess.
Yeah,
tuna.
you're
Mercury
more likely to. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not going to look at RFK and think, okay, I'm going to believe everything that dude says. But at this point, I don't know. I can't say. I'm not a researcher. I'm not going to put myself out there to be one. It is what it is. But maybe we'll never know because.
So those are my 2 points. Those are my 2 points about that, right? And I think are valid. Again, just to recap, wait till these people find out about what pew-pews impact children. Much less Tylenol. Right?
Pew-pews in the household have been found with a 13 times increase in unalivings. We can't seem to figure out why. Just kidding.
Right. Yeah. And then B, their solution is Dr. Oz's supplement. I mean, the grift is just at this point.
That's the other thing that kind of gets me. When you're, if that's what you're pushing, if they had an alternative, it'd be one thing, some new breaking whatever. I don't know, but maybe this will push them in a way that will give something to the mother that won't cross into the child. But I don't know how you could even do that. I don't know that that's possible.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's, and then my third point is we're coming in for the partial shutdown. So anyway, that's what's happening here on the Hill.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Defending. I really appreciate it. I've got Benjamin's going to come up next. Should be interesting. Yeah. We'll talk at you later. Thank you for the update. See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys, if you are in the comments, please tap the screen. We are only at 516 likes. What the hell, guys? Please tap that screen. Let's get to 10K as quickly as we can. That's odd. Anyway, I do have a gifting goal of 50 dinos. So you can gift if you want to support the live as well. Benjamin, thank you for your patience, sir. I don't know what the hell that was with the disconnection, but we're back now, I guess. Yeah, what's up? Lay it on me.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just have a couple of, a unique perspective on the TISM.
Okay. I'll be right back. I can still hear you. Just let me know what you're going to say, and I'll be right back to respond to it. I'll put your time back. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay. So, one thing that, I noticed with Trump is that he's saying he's really after the TISM, trying to figure out, where it's coming from. And he says that's like the biggest thing. Has anybody thought, now my son has the TISM and he's high functioning. He just has a small speech impediment, and there's a few other telltale signs. If you have a child with autism, you can pick up on those. Their smile is a little unique, and some of their facial features. His granddaughter, when I see her, and when I saw her the first time on TV, I automatically was like, me and my wife looked at each other and were like, okay, like her speech is a little slurred, her laugh or her smile that she has, she most definitely has the TISM. Has anybody considered that's why he is so after trying to figure out what's causing it? Have you picked up on that at all? Or
I haven't, nor have I heard that. No.
Okay. He's never come out and said that because, HIPAA and all that good stuff.
Now, are you talking about Trump or RFK?
Trump's granddaughter.
Because RFK has been pushing that for years and years and years and years and years.
Right.
Since the early 2000s, even.
Yeah, for sure. But it just when Trump says I want to know exactly what's going on, this is my top agenda. If I do nothing else and I find what's going on with this, I'll feel like I've done my job. I feel like it's because of his granddaughter is why he's never come out and said that she has the TISM, but again, with her kind of speech impediment, her smile that she has, I think anybody else that has, and no, I'm not seriously trying to justify this shit. I'm just giving, I think this is why Trump is personally trying so hard.
But did he even talk about it before RFK was joined?
I don't
remember him ever talking about it until RFK joined.
I don't either, so I can't say that I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think he was ever campaigned on it or anything like that, but then, he tried to get RFK because RFK was pulling votes away. And so I think, they worked out some kind of deal where he would make that a priority. I think that's why he did it. And I think that's why he's doing it. And, look, because we ingest a bunch of shit. Look at Americans. Look how unhealthy we are. All the crap they put in our food, the fucking preservatives. There is any number of things that can increase, and probably multiple things that can increase the likelihood of somebody getting the TISM.
Yeah.
So, whether Tylenol, I don't know. I don't think that has that big of an impact, if any at all. So, I'm okay with them looking into it, but I think they're jumping the gun on this one.
I would like to say that my wife, she refuses medicine. And so, if she, to this day, if she gets a headache, it's like, dude, just take a freaking BC Talent. That's the first thing out of my mouth. If you have a headache, take something, be done with it. She'll go hours with, I got a headache. So to say that it's Tylenol doesn't add up with me for the simple fact that we 100% have a child with the TISM, and if she took Tylenol, it may have been once, through her pregnancy. So there's that,
Well, I mean, my brother was like that also. My brother who unalived, unfortunately, when he was 46, he wouldn't take medicine either. And that
Yeah.
included his diabetes medication and his blood pressure medication.
Right.
And unfortunately, it, didn't do him any good. So there's a reason we have those medications, but, I don't know. There's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of mischaracterizations of things, I think, and it causes unnecessary fear when we know some of these things do work. In excess, it's a problem. If it's to resolve an issue, like that's what we have them for. But
So I just said that my wife didn't take Tylenol throughout our pregnancy, and then somebody, Madam, says, "How does Tylenol cause the TISM when the TISM?" And I'm assuming you're saying that, so I'm saying the same thing you are to be TikTok correct.
Right.
But when the TISM was a diagnosis 60 years before, thank you. I'm not saying Tylenol is the cause. I've never said that. I'm, in fact, agreeing with it may not be the sole reason or any part of it. I will tell you one last thing I'd like to make a point is, the kids in high school you go with, everybody kind of knows the groups of people. And the few kids that I went to high school with that have the TISM, I noticed they had either one of the other. Usually the guy had an issue with drinking or drugs, and I don't know if that has a part to do with it. I drank a lot when me and my wife were together in the beginning, not to the point that I think it caused an issue, but that's something else to look at. Because somebody said it's genetic. Nobody in my family other than my son that I know of has the TISM. So I don't know if it's genetics or not. It may be.
It could be evolution. Could be evolution. I mean, because another, the rates have gone up, and so has the testing. So has our ability to locate even those who are on the spectrum just a little bit. Where somebody, for example, Asperger's, this person may have existed long prior to the testing, and we just looked at those people like they were, they had no social grace, and there was no name for it, for example, right? Does that make sense? So we're just categorizing more, and so that makes the numbers go up. That's entirely possible that this has been in existence for a long time, and we just gave it a name.
And then one more point is, I haven't really heard people talk much about this, but because they're saying the woman taking Tylenol, could it be the guy taking Tylenol and it's in his tadpoles? Is that how that works?
Tadpoles? Man, I ain't no fucking frogs. You know why? Because they're turning the frogs gay. Sorry, I had to do that, guys. I thought about that yesterday, actually. I don't know the answer to that. That's interesting, because I was like, if both parents are, inebriated when they're, copulating, does that affect the outcome of conception? Well, I don't know. I didn't even bother to look it up because I was making a joke, actually, when I said it. But then I was like, maybe there's something there. I don't know, man.
I did take a lot of Tylenol. I was the one that, if I had a slight headache, I'm going for Tylenol, so I'm wondering if it was to be found that Tylenol is a major, then it would have to be able to work like that, so it's just another thing to think about. I don't know that Tylenol is the answer. It just sounds
I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it is, but again, there's competing data here in both with problematic methodologies. And so, I'm no expert. I'm gonna, I guess defer to the doctor. Plus my wife can't get pregnant, and it is what it is. But Benjamin, I really appreciate it. I got to drop you down. I've got Dangerfield. He's been waiting for a while. I'd like to bring up here. You're welcome to come back. I appreciate it. Great conversation, man. Thank you.
Later, bro.
Yeah, we'll see you. And let me bring in Dangerfield. And Jen, you will be next. Jen Cat RN, you will be next.
Okay,
Dangerfield, what's up?
Okay, real quick. I don't know if you were young at the time or born at the time that Tylenol was taken off the shelves because people were putting poison in them.
Yeah, that's where the safety caps came from. I was alive
Okay.
during that time.
But
Yes, I
oh,
remember
you
that.
were okay.
Yep.
During that period, there was no uptick in autism. Okay,
Sure.
or downtick in autism. It was just what it was. They were told the reason pregnant women are not allowed. They're told not to take aspirin. So there was they didn't take Tylenol. They did, and then they started taking all Tylenol. It didn't make any difference in autism if you look at the statistics. But you were absolutely right. Okay, do you know Europe won't buy meat from us
Yeah,
because
I wouldn't buy meat from us if I could if
we
I could
we
not.
we put so much stuff to make them be fat, and to make them big. Steroids. We use actually steroids, believe it or not, and the everything. It has fructose and this and that and this. They didn't bother to check that. They just bothered to check, say, "Oh, it's Tylenol." You
Right.
know,
And this is, because I remember when this came out about the Tylenol link, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. Now, to your
yeah.
point about the Tylenol being pulled from the shelf, I don't think it was pulled for that long. I mean,
Oh yeah,
maybe a month.
yeah. It
No,
was
because they came out with the
no.
tamper resistant package just a couple of months after that.
That it was a few months. It was like 4 months.
I don't know if that's enough time to use that as like
But
like
in
a
other words,
baseline.
what I'm saying is the pregnant women all of a sudden didn't all of a sudden, stop having autistic kids. The problem is that the food we eat, everything has some kind of shit in it
That's
that they
right.
don't sell in Europe. They don't sell that in the rest of the world.
Yep.
Only we have it as a replacement. Okay. And the other thing, I want to know if the government shuts down, do the Schmexer workers uh, not get paid
Yes.
because
I guess we'll
they're
see.
not paid.
We'll know based on how irritated Donald Trump gets. Right. So if you see this dude getting real frustrated over nothing, yeah, the Smex workers were put off as well.
Yeah, just real quick, I tried to stop smoking. I had acupuncture, I had hypnotism. Finally, I went to another doctor the other day, and he put me on the scale, and I sucked in my stomach. He says, "That's not going to make you lighter." I said, "No, that's how I can see the numbers."
That's
But
funny.
yeah, but he was a proctologist, so I was desperate.
That's funny. Is that a
You
joke,
think
or
so?
did that actually happen to you? Because
Now that's a joke.
okay.
Come on,
I
me.
no, I figured, but you said it was a proctologist, so I'm like, well, maybe, because I should go see one myself. But either way, well, Dangerfield, I've got Jen. She's waiting to come up. I
All
appreciate
right.
it,
Well,
and
thank
thank
you
you for
very
that.
much. I just
And
wanted to say that about, they took the Tylenol off the shelves, and I was looking, and there was no uptick, there was no downtick in. Uh, by the way, my first gig was learning disabilities teacher. Okay.
okay,
They gave me every learning disabled child, everybody who had a problem, one way or the other. One kid, Roy Doyle, he went home and he burned down his house, you know, this kind of thing. So they gave everybody to me. When I tell you, if I had three autistic kids, it was fine, it was no problem. But now they have entire classes full of autistic kids. You can't tell me it's Tylenol.
Well, I mean, sure, the population has grown considerably since then too, though. Like, you know what I mean? So just
I'm
the raw
talking
numbers
same
that you would
size
find.
School, same size everything.
Okay. Well, I mean, with that, Dangerfield, I got to move along. I'm going to bring
Okay,
Jen
yeah,
up.
all right,
I really
goodbye.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for the conversation. We'll
Thank
catch you
you.
later.
All
See
right,
ya.
take-
All right. Jen. Let me bring in Jen. What's up, Jen? You had some thoughts you wanted to offer on this matter?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredibly frustrating as a medical professional to hear these non-medical professionals tell us how to do our fucking job. I'm just going to say that.
I think that's fair.
Tylenol is safe. It's actually the safest medication for pregnant women and children. My biggest fear, I'm just going to say this first before I talk about how flawed the studies are that they're using to try and convince people that Tylenol is unsafe. Don't give your children aspirin. Aspirin in children from viral illnesses will cause Rye syndrome. Rye syndrome is a fatal diagnosis in children. Please
What's
don't
the
give
prevalence of that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Rye syndrome.
Yes, when taking aspirin.
In viral illnesses, it's common. It's not for everything. It's just when they have a viral illness. The combination of aspirin and a viral illness, it leads to Rye syndrome.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm glad you brought that up. Do they know why?
It's a fatal illness that causes brain and liver damage, primarily affecting children and teens after viral infections, such as the flu and chickenpox. The risk factors, one of the major risk factors of that is aspirin use. There is a strong link between aspirin use in children and teenagers with viral illnesses and the development of Rye syndrome. It is crucial to avoid giving aspirin to children and teens recovering from any kind of viral illness, such as chickenpox or flu-like symptoms.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just always known not to use aspirin. I don't take it because of, there are a lot of issues with it. I wonder if like white willow bark is less of an issue than like synthetically produced aspirin. Do you know? You know what I mean? Because I think you can still buy white willow bark and make like teas and stuff from it. Well, because I believe that's where aspirin was derived, right? Am I crazy? That's what I remember. Somebody in the comments can probably fact check me on that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Aspirin causes mitochondrial dysfunction in the liver cells. It impairs fatty acid metabolism, and it can cause accumulation of ammonia and other metabolites, cause neurotoxicity.
Yeah, right here. Because of the use of salicylates, such as aspirin for children with flu and chickenpox, has been associated with Rye syndrome. Surgeon General advises against the use with children with those diseases. So now, let me give you back some time, Jen, because I don't feel like that was the only point you wanted to make, but I wanted to touch on that because I thought it was important. Let me get you back up here, like halfway through. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the Mount Sinai Harvard study that they're using to try and convince people that Tylenol is unsafe. First of all, this was an observational study. It wasn't an experimental study. So experimental studies show causation, and observational studies only show association. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen, right? Like I can say overweight people is associated with diabetes, but that doesn't mean you're going to get diabetes, right? The other thing is that the study was self-reporting data. That means that after the pregnancy, the mothers would come in and talk about their acetaminophen use during pregnancy. And so there was no actual control of when they were taking it, how much they were taking it, how often they were taking it. And on top of that,
and they may not come in if nothing was at issue.
Well, and it can go the other way. If somebody had a child that was born with a developmental disorder, it can cause recall bias. They're more likely to remember and report acetaminophen use if that happened to they happen to have one. That's a bias, and that makes it non-repeatable. They didn't have they didn't choose their own population. They didn't have control of the cohort with exclusion and inclusion criteria. Like I said, they had no control over the dosage, the timing, or the measurements. They didn't know how often or for what reason they were taking it. And the sample size was extraordinarily small. Because
this is the Johns Hopkins one that Milk was talking about earlier. Is that the one you're referencing?
The Mount Sinai Harvard.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, they also didn't use any of the mother's underlying risk factors, like any kind of genetic, environmental exposures, mother's illnesses, co-founding illnesses, or why they were taking the Tylenol to start with. What if they had a viral illness while they were pregnant and then they took Tylenol? The Tylenol had nothing to do with it, but the viral illness did, right?
Interesting.
And so there's no control over that.
That's a good point.
You know, and so the thing is that what I want people to remember is that medical research has to have specific criteria in order for it to be repeatable and have the same outcome. And these are the things that make this study not credible or reliable. And this is important to remember.
Yeah, because the one I read, or the couple that I've read, used the word positive association, which is speaking to what you were just saying, where there's, it's not saying that it's cause and effect. It's saying that they just happen to like move together, which could be total coincidence.
Yeah, and so the one that I find, as far as me, because I do a lot of medical research, I'm in my master's program, graduate school, they have to meet certain criteria, like the p-value has to be less than 0.05. So, I mean, these are things that are important to use when looking at medical research. The most reliable one was the one that came out last year in JAMA, which is the Journal of American Medical Association, and it took 2,500,000 children from Sweden over I think it was a 10-year period, and they found no connection between Tylenol, acetaminophen, and anything, ADHD, autism, or any other
Is that the one with Alkvist and Sjöquist and Dahlman?
Dahlman, Carlson,
yes.
Stevenson.
Okay, that's the one that I linked earlier. And she's saying is right. It was like 2.4 million, I believe, kids that they had.
2,480,797 children.
Yep, and I linked to that one earlier when Milk was talking, and it does say exactly what she just said. And I'll put it back in there again in case you guys, weren't aware. Because there's always competing stuff here. Again, I don't buy the Tylenol thing, but again, I'm okay with them looking at everything because, if we put a bunch of crap in our stuff, right? And it could be any number of things. There's a lot of variables that I don't know they're going to be able to easily control for, especially diet.
Well, I'm going to just say this one thing and then I'll leave. One of the major things about this study was not only a massive population in the study, that is a huge population, but also they used a sibling comparison. So they took a mother with multiple children and they had one child that was exposed to Tylenol in the womb and one child that wasn't exposed to Tylenol in the womb. And they found absolutely no difference in the outcome.
In the rates.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'll dig through this one even more after the show because, I've God, I don't know. In the last 2 days, I've read, several of these, and it's, it's kind of like the egg thing. That's like I look at this stuff. Yeah, I get so sick of competing studies because for every study you can point out, some asshole can point out some other study that's not done as well or not as It's like, well, there was 18 people in this cohort. Okay.
Right. And so the smaller the cohort, the less reliable it is, right?
Right. It's
the
like,
the cohort,
Yeah.
So,
but, it's crazy. And I'm so glad you came up here and brought that up and talked about that. And, I believe what you tell me over what Milk is saying. especially because it sounds, I know for a fact that you read the study, because in terms of the number of people, that was spot on with what I'm looking at right here. And I haven't even read this study fully yet. I just looked at the, the outcome. I haven't had a chance to actually go through it, but
yeah,
no,
if I
thank
can't
you.
press anything more serious, please don't give your children aspirin. Okay, please, please, please. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
No
Thanks so
aspirin.
much.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much for coming up here and clearing that up.
All right.
Yep. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Now, we do have a slot open here. Nobody's in the request box if you'd like to come up and talk about it. I'm really, really, really glad that Jen came up here and talked about that. Again, that link, I put a link to that in the comments. You guys are welcome to go look at it, read it for yourself. Throw it in ChatGPT. Ask it about problematic methodologies. That's one of the first things I'll ask ChatGPT if a study has a bunch of stuff in there, because there's the way they write this stuff, it's hard to read, and you'll be looking up definitions a lot. So ChatGPT can walk you through that stuff too. Very good resource for that. Anyway, which it's interesting because I didn't even plan on talking about Tylenol at all. I just, because in my mind, and I'm not sure what that executive order said, but in my mind, just just do what your doctor tells you to do. Just do what your doctor, make that decision, between you and your doctor. Fuck these politicians trying to get up in your business and tell you how to do your shit. That's why, with the surgeries and stuff, gender reassignment surgeries and stuff, the government needs to stay the fuck out of this. They just do. This is, we want small government. We want it so small that we can drown it in the bathtub. But then they're like, but you can't do that, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and the doctor can't do this. And if the doctor does that, he's going to go to jail. Small government, my ass. But really what I was going to talk about is this grievance culture that we're seeing with Republicans. Because I was watching Piers Morgan when Cenk went up there. This was right after Charlie Kirk was unalived. And they really, I think, deep down think that liberals want to unalive them. Which blows me away because of how often I can go through Twitter, for example, and find all of these people that refer to black people as monkeys. They refer to, the J word constantly. Oh, they're stealing all your money. All this just racist tropes, and the only, good whatever is an unalived whatever. I mean, this is common theme shit. And go to 4chan, it's even worse. These people are just salivating for it. Now, something interesting I did come across today, which is, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I thought it was a little weird. Let me put it up on the big screen here. And, my conspiracy brain went off when I seen this a little bit due to the lack of information. So we've got, let me get rid of this. U.S. Secret Service disrupts telecom network threatened New York City during UN General Assembly. Right, so the Secret Service disrupted a sprawling telecommunications network. In total, law enforcement discovered 300 SIM servers, over 100,000 SIM cards, enabling encrypted anonymous communication and capable of sending 30 million text messages per minute. Officials say the servers were so powerful they could have disabled cell phone towers and launched DDoS attacks with the ability to block emergency communications. But the thing that really kind of caught my attention was right here. Where is it at? Yeah, we cannot share which officials were targeted. Well, let me read this here. Telephonic threats to multiple senior U.S. officials this past spring, including multiple people protected by the Secret Service, first triggered the investigation, but officials say the network was seized within the last 3 weeks. We can't share which officials were targeted out of concerns for their privacy, but as the forensics investigation continues, we do expect that we'll find more targeted officials once we get through that data. Early analysis shows the network was used for communication between foreign governments and individuals known to U.S. law enforcement. Now it's saying including members of known organized crime gangs, drug cartels, and human trafficking rings. But let's be honest, if that were true, if it was these, the gangs and the cartels, Donald Trump would be out there screaming about this, using they're eating the dogs and they're using your cell phones to eat the dogs. I mean, this would be the shit he's saying, but notice this says foreign governments. So, like, what are these people doing? Like, are we really being, like, bombarded by these bot farms? Which is what that sounds to me like it is. Because I can't tell you, I get, like, 12 messages a day from some random, like, Democrat running for office. Or, oh, woe is me. And they've got your name. They've got all this information. So I still feel like we're being attacked from the inside here. I think this is like an actual attack on the U.S. using this, kind of sim warfare, if you will. I don't buy this, crime gangs, 100,000, unless they're like, collecting coins on TikTok or something and selling it. But that's not what it sounds like it was. This is some organized, I think, government operation that they've uncovered. And I think the reason why they won't tell you is because I know which country it is. I think you guys can figure out which country it might be. I wonder which country is always fucking with us, trying to get us to do shit. Wonder which country that is and why they wouldn't tell us which one it is. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But also in other news, I don't know if you guys saw this or not because of the Tylenol shit, but the Supreme Court has ruined precedent yet again with this fucking Rebecca Slaughter case where he fired the FTC chairman, and the Supreme Court, while waiting for the actual to hear the case, they're like, oh yeah, you can go ahead and fire him. Yeah, you can go ahead and fire. That's fine. You can get rid of him. Of course, Kagan and Sotomayor and Jackson dissented, and they're like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like our own president says that Congress told them that they can't just fire without cause these officials that are parts of independent agencies. And the Supreme Court is creating an authoritarian government here. And, of course, it's temporary. We'll see what they say. But this is more problematic to me than the JFK stuff or the RFK stuff with the Tylenol. Like that, you just take your Tylenol, right? You just take it, unless they take it off the shelf, and I don't see that happening either. But this right here, this will allow this man to go after all of these corporations. It'll allow him to, make decisions. It'll pull mergers. I mean, and the companies will know that he will politicize this. And just by the fact that he can install a loyalist, they will just immediately capitulate because they give a shit more about their money than they do about the country. I mean, that's just the way it is. This is problematic because what we're going to see after this, we're going to see him starting to go after corporations that dissent, that allow anybody to be hired. And you couple that with the, Antifa's T group. He just announced that, I believe in an executive order that they're a T group now, which makes no sense because it's not a group. It never has been a group. There's no Antifa headquarters is on such and such avenue. It's all bullshit, but he's going to use this to go after Democrats. And when you have this FTC shit and this terrorist designation, yeah, I think we're pretty well cooked here, guys. So the Tylenol stuff, while problematic, I don't think is as important as these things here. I don't think it is. Paul, what's going on, Paul?
Hey,
what's that?
how's it going? Yeah, I just want to say that I feel like that if Bernie had won on the left, we would not be talking about Democrats in the same way, but Trump did win in the Republicans, but the Republicans like McConnell and Bill Kristol and the Cheneys and the Bushes, I mean, with veins out of their neck, they despise Trump.
That's true.
And so with the Weekly Standard, which is the a pillar of the conservative community, I don't know if you know about the project, the New American Century for Bill Kristol, moving in, the 7 countries in 5 years sort of thing. Liz Cheney was on the stage with Harris. So she was not doing that to get more Democrat votes. She was doing that to show that the same people of the 51 intelligence leaders.
She's part of the crew.
I know, but look, like if you're out in the wilderness and you see this little thing attacking a cobra, and it's a little furry thing, and you don't know what it is, but you know the cobra is afraid, then maybe that's a mongoose. Maybe it knows what the hell it's doing. So you see this guy called Trump. You don't know anything about him. He's on the little TV boob tube. You never met the guy, but you see the intelligence agency of the U.S. No question, from the FBI to the CIA to Brennan to all of these people, amassing a gigantic defense. And we know those same people are the ones who are, and the real politic, the Brzezinskis of the world. I really think they don't mind if you lose 100,000, maybe 200,000 people, but in the long term, we have a better chess position on the geopolitical stage, 20 years from now, then it's worth it.
So like a deep state argument is kind of what you're making, would you say?
It's an administrative state. And it is true, and
Sure.
It is dangerous, and it's real.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get no argument from me with that. Yeah, sure.
So all we have to do is kind of like prevent that. I don't know if you've read into the Rand Corporation. I mean, since World War II, I think it's an important think tank. I mean, in D.C., there's a lot of them. But they gamed out the Ukraine invasion, for example. And it doesn't mean that they actually wanted it to go that way, but they do have they did grid out the whole thing about like using Ukraine like Afghanistan into the Soviet Union. So, just
okay. So what is the overall point that you're making? You've brought up a bunch of things, but tie those all together.
Vote Trump.
Oh, so this was an argument in favor of Trump. You believe that Donald Trump is going to stop those people?
Okay, but those people think he's going to stop them. Those people think that Trump is going to stop them. They acted like they did.
What about Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg has changed a lot. Apparently, he probably just knows the tides are shifting. Also, here's another thing.
What about Peter Thiel?
Okay, now those guys have a different. If you know anything about Mark Andreessen,
JD Vance, you go down the list. Okay, so he's surrounded himself with these people.
I agree.
So do you think he's using them, or do you think they're using him? And if they're using him, do you think he knows?
Very good question. There's another guy, Mark Andreessen from Andreessen and Horowitz, who is right in the middle of all that and was in the White House a lot. He said that the Biden administration had a seething contempt for private AI, for anything in AI. And this is him personally. He said that they were told there will be no private AI, and it will be like a Manhattan Project. And he said, but how can you make math, top secret and stuff? And the Biden administration said, we did it with the Manhattan Project. There was math that was off limits. So we're going to do the same thing here. So the Andreessen and Thiel and even Bill Gates and NVIDIA and all these people, and you may think it's crazy that they all of a sudden like Trump, but the contrast is unreal.
No. What I think is crazy is Trump liking them.
I know, but he does want we need to shift more into a competitive phase with China.
I see. So those oligarchs are fine, but the other ones not so much.
What do you mean? What oligarch?
So, like your Bill Kristols, these people who are operating, who were Kamala Harris, Bill Clinton, go down the line, Hillary Clinton. Well, hold on. They pandered to the oligarch community. They pandered to the corporations in this country. They absolutely did. I've watched it my entire life. So to sit there and act like this wasn't some oligarch that they were paying to that. That's why over 70% of our legislation helps out corporations. So what you're suggesting is we get rid of the old billionaire class and the old wealthy people that were the establishment, and we create a new class of establishmentarianists that are now the billionaires over the tech industry. That's all you're doing. You're replacing one addiction for another. Would you not agree?
I understand, but there we don't see it in the West, and we see it more in England. But there is the idea of the institutionalized old money and new money. The old money supports the left causes, probably, and they say probably like the Pritzkers, for example, because that it's more of a bread and circuses strategy. They are so institutionalized and so they have these family offices. They're so big that there is no threat. But the theory is, and the idea, and I think it's true, that the Elon Musks of the world have in their memory, either they themselves or their living grandparents or parents know the market is kind of brutal, but can be overcome. So they like the idea, like the Michael Dell. He's in a garage. These people are more.
Okay.
Let me just say, they're different than but I don't agree.
I'm not sure the point you're trying to make here.
I'm saying their new money is different than the old money. The new elite, they're called the counter elite. They're different. But I don't like any oligarchs like you. I don't think that you should be able to, if there are 3 companies controlling and you remove one and the prices change, that's an oligarchy. But I do think that the United States needs to take seriously, especially in the world of AI and computing and energy, the threat of China. We are not helping the world anymore at post-World War II. We now have real challenges. So it is important to enter a different to end the post-World War II consensus and start to have more tariffs, be more concerned about our country, not overextending ourselves. We have other threats. We have to get it to a new posture. And that doesn't mean we change principles.
And Trump isn't doing that, though.
Yeah, he is.
No, he isn't.
Tariff. What are tariffs?
What are you talking about?
Well, tariffs
are a tax on people. What are you talking about?
Okay, but here that's interesting because if you call it an import tax or
no, it is. It's literally an import tax. Thank you. I'm glad you used that language. Yes,
fine. We got
to cut taxes, and then we're going to raise taxes.
Okay, so then the question is, and you have to differentiate. I don't think these words have feelings. They don't know how to apply themselves. In other words, a corporate tax, I've always said, is we need to get it to zero because no company pays taxes. They all externalize through not hiring
That's
less.
ridiculous.
Okay, so wait. If a tax is externalized to the buyer or the worker, then what in the hell is different than an import tax?
It's regressive.
So
They're
it's
all
a corporate
regressive.
tax. So
no, it isn't.
Tax.
No, it
How
isn't.
Is it different?
Because the corporate tax rate is generally a progressive tax rate.
No.
It's based on your profit margins. If you're making nothing, you don't pay any taxes.
I know, but if FedEx is paying 35% tax, do you think it just says we're going to eat it? No, they raise the price to the consumer, or they hire less people.
Okay, and so instead of doing that, you want to make rich corporations richer while then offsetting that tax so that you pay more as a consumer on everything. And so the taxes that you are paying currently, your income tax, you're getting taxed there, and then you're getting taxed again whenever they pass that cost along to you. And the only people that benefit from that are people who already have money. Great job.
So corporate, no,
you've really fixed it.
I'm agreeing with you. You're saying that if we tax FedEx at 35%, they'll pass it along. Either they're going to hire as many, or they're going to raise the prices, or whatever. They'll externalize it. They don't get around the board and say, "Oh, woe is me, we're going to lose money." They're going to lose money. They're passing it along. So the point is, if you want to hold on to your belief that that they will externalize all tariffs by not hiring or raising prices, you have to be consistent intellectually and dispassionate and say, this is what Milton Friedman said a long time ago. Why don't we make the tax zero? Because
you're not going to raise this much money, though. That's the problem.
The illusion that corporations pay.
You can't replace corporate taxes with tariffs. You can't.
No, I'm
not going to.
Look, in other words,
you said you wanted the corporate tax rate to go to zero. That's what you said. Did you mean that, or was that a mistake?
No, I do mean that.
Okay, so if you're okay with tariffs, are you okay with tariffs?
Oh, hang on, I gotta go.
You have to go? Okay, I think about this logically, guys. If you zero out the corporate tax rate, you are going to have a massive fucking deficit. Huge. The tariff rate on every fucking product that they would have to increase to make up the difference is massive. It wouldn't be no 10%. Oh, it's 20%. No, you're fucking 47, 50%. Anybody telling you that this is a good idea is just off the rocker, I would argue. And I would have run too if I was Paul. Danger, give me just a second. You've been up here before. Vex has shown up. So let me bring Vex in and I'll get to you, Danger. What's up, Vex?
Hey, man. Sorry, one sec. I had Trump's UN speech playing in the background here. The tax versus tariff thing is a funny one for me to hear people kind of look at it in that very elementary level, which is, well, if you increase the cost of, or if you increase the taxes, which is basically the cost of paying their share of profit at the end of all of the monies, like after everything is said and done, it's the same thing as starting from a higher point. It's not. It's not for a number of reasons, but one of the reasons that I think a lot of people forget to consider, and we're seeing this kind of play out, if you know anybody that is doing any kind of like acquisition work or any kind of like if they work with finding products for businesses to have, when they don't know what the tariff plan is, like a tax law is predictable. You can plan for that. A tariff quote unquote policy that changes or gets pushed back or is bumped up because the president doesn't like what a foreign country is doing with their justice system and just wants to spite really us for that for some reason, they can't necessarily predict what their costs ultimately will end up being when it's like, all right, tariffs are coming in August. Just kidding. We'll push it back 90 days. So growing the business, looking at where they're going to procure, like decisions are made long term, and with the tariff nonsense, businesses can't don't take my word for this. Like, talk to people who do this for a living. They're pulling their fucking hair out, trying to be like, oh, God damn it. Okay, so there was supposed to be tariffs on.
Yeah, because they don't know. They have no clue.
Exactly.
Businesses need stability, and that it allows them to do their job and to do outlooks. You're absolutely right. It's crazy.
Yeah, you need some degree of consistency, some degree of predictability for the markets to be able to comfortably invest, because they're not going to. I think it might be telling that we think corporations think like us, where we're not really running the numbers. We're not looking out into the future. We don't have projections. We don't have a plan for the next few years. It's not surprising, but if you don't know what might happen the next day or the next month, you can't possibly be making good decisions in the future for how to carry out your business efficiently, because you don't know what the market's going to be like that you're playing in.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And as far as like, I know Trump has talked about tariffs for a long time, even long before his run. But I feel like he thinks he understands it, but he doesn't realize that the economy moved on and he was just still stuck there in like the 1980s. Do you think that may be true? Like that in his mind, because at the time, once it was a valid argument, I think, to try and capture some of that manufacturing back, right? Yeah, but that time's long past, I think. I don't, you know what I mean? Like
to that point, this is what I would say, and this is why I feel like one of the main things that was missing from the whole tariff, plan, quote unquote, I say plan loosely, was if the plan was to bring back American manufacturing, then we would also need to have some degree of, or some metric for when we would know that manufacturing has been brought back, and the tariffs would then go away. Because if the tariffs weren't scheduled or didn't have like a condition under which the tariffs would go away, then all he's doing is putting a new tax on American businesses for doing business with anybody else except America. It's just an inflationary policy at that point. If there isn't a way to determine, okay, we did the tariffs, we got enough manufacturing back here, whatever the goal was supposed to be. So now we're going to lift the tariffs, which would also then make you have to hopefully go to the next step of that, which would be, okay, but if we bring back the tariffs or bring back the manufacturing and then the tariffs go away, couldn't we just go back to doing business with somebody else somewhere else because it's cheaper again?
Right. And then you look at the numbers, and it clearly, if that was his goal, it's failing fucking miserably, and did so in his first term as well. But, I wonder if, like, I don't know, maybe he thought it would work and started to realize that maybe it wouldn't. So then he tried to make it out like, oh, I'm just trying to negotiate a better deal. Because, the guy's full of shit anyway. I think
that, it seems to me like he's the type of guy, because he demonstrates this all the time, where like he gets a hair on his ass about something and he has an idea and nobody is able to talk him out of it. And since he's surrounded with people who are just going to be like, great idea,
yes,
sir, that's a wonderful idea.
You're the kingmaker, yes.
Absolutely. And everything that you say, sir, is just wonderful. And Joe Biden would never do something like that.
Yeah. Can I cuddle your ball sack some more, please?
I'm going to try to get it deeper down this time.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to gag. It's my bad.
I'll have all of my teeth removed, sir, just for you. This is going off the rails.
I'm sorry. You had to do it, though.
It's
so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous what we're seeing. Like, but no, you're right. He gets a hair up his ass, and I feel like he is like accidentally succeeded in life, where everything he does, he fucks it up, and then somehow manages to make his fucking way out on the other side with Russian money and some real estate deals. And, because really, if you think about it, he's failed at pretty much everything he ever did.
I think he's ever done. Yeah. Like the business of putting his name on shit is a fairly simple one, but I truly believe that this is we're looking at a guy who's never had to feel consequences for anything in his whole life. And this is why he can go to the podium and be like, don't take Tylenol. Just don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. I know we told you. You're out.
RFK voice is pretty good.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a Trump voice. So.
That sounded like RFK
to me.
Not that good. Wow, maybe they're practicing with each other. Real quick, I got to give a shout out to DJ for making me laugh. Gagging is for amateurs. Laugh emoji. Yes, thank you, DJ, for making me not so embarrassed that somebody else was finding entertainment in that when I was.
He does say that he picks the best people, so he's probably got a point.
Never mind. I was going to say they're eating the. You can fill in the blanks. No, it's crazy. But like Paul, I wish Paul would come back. I hope he actually did have to go and he wasn't running. I don't know. It's like I feel like they're his argument was that they're replacing one class of like people who are in charge with another, but it's the same. It's the same shit, just different people.
Well, it doesn't even the reason that my understanding of it, the reason that we went away from tariffs is because of how grossly disproportionate the effects were to poor people. Because the tariff doesn't, at very least, income taxes are considering how much money you have wound up with and what you need. Where tariffs is just the cost of it's the cost of entry. It's the cost of getting into any of the games to begin with.
Right.
So if you're being forced if the cost of you doing business begins higher, then it's more difficult for you to continue to make money and grow if you're not, especially if it's just getting slapped on you, midstream when you've already built a business model or started doing business, and all of a sudden now it's just like the whole game has changed. At least with tax law, it usually is not like an immediate and like a volatile decision. It's okay. Here's the tax law.
That's pretty instantaneous.
Tariffs should be. If it was like a good faith tariff law, it would be like, hey, we got this emergency situation. We've assessed it carefully, This is what we think we need to do in order to deal with it. Not, I'm angry at everybody, so everyone gets tariffs, and making people think that this is a thing that happens to them and not us. Like that has been the thing that blows my mind the most. Is people like, yeah, tariff those companies. Hey, when he does that, who has to pay the money?
Right. Yeah, they're not going to eat that. And if they could, they should have been eating a lot of shit this whole time. And it just shows that they could eat cost of things, and they were just like, no, we're not going to do it unless we have somebody scaring us to death. Real quick, though, I want to point out, and thank you, Maverick, for bringing this to my attention. Massive Grinder outage reports coincide with the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service in Arizona. So they were certainly fighting for that legacy. Grinder. Wow.
Yeah, I'm still catching up on the moments of that whole thing, and that we've seen this phenomenon many times before. I think RNC was also another one, which I wish we lived in a world where we didn't have to care about that, but when the platform of somebody is like, I don't think gay marriage should be a thing. I think gay marriage is wrong. Was his actual message that he argued against people, and at his memorial service, an app for gay dudes to hook up on or I don't know if it's considered a dating app or what, but I've got friends that use it.
I think it's a hookup app.
Yeah, that seems to be how they use it.
It's like the equivalent of, the airport. If you were Larry Craig at the airport soliciting people under the bathroom stall, it's like that, but on the internet. Do you remember that? Do you remember that shit when Larry Craig got busted at the airport?
I wasn't old enough to be.
Fingers under the stall. It's like, hey man, you interested? Let's do this. While simultaneously voting against anything that had to do with gay rights or treating.
That's the thing, and that's the thing, right? Like if Republicans. If Charlie Kirk's base was out there like, hey, dude, if you want to, gay people, go do your thing. Yeah, you should be able to get married. You should have all the same rights as a straight couple does. Go do your thing. We love that. We celebrate this lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with this at all. And then Grindr was crashing. I don't think people would fucking care. But to be simultaneously saying this lifestyle is wrong, and then also let me indulge just a little bit though. Like, fuck off, dudes.
I gotta get mine. Maybe when you treat your spouse like shit so much, and they're like, no, you got to get it somewhere, and maybe they go to the airport bathrooms and Grindr for it. I don't know. Well, I can't imagine what it would be like to hate yourself like that.
In the religious crowd, especially, like there's a non-zero amount of people who were just like repressed, who like probably are gay, and were just told no. If you do that, you go to hell. And so they were just like, okay, fine. I'll marry the nice woman and have children, and I'll just make it all work. I
knew
Jesus.
a guy who did that. He was a professor, because this was like early aughts. I met them. They were like professors at like a vocational type school, and he married, had kids, and he was like, but I've always been gay. Like, he wasn't even bisexual. He had no, like sexual interest in his wife, but he did it because he was in the military, and he didn't want people to know that he was, and he knew that he was gay. And so he lived his life alive for like 30-something years, and eventually he was like, I just can't do it anymore. Ended up getting divorced and found another man to live the rest of his life with. Great people, those two. But it's sad that somebody has to go through their whole life like that. And it's like, we're finally at the fucking point where people can just fucking live, and then you have this fucking MAGA movement come in here and try to go backwards. It's fucking disgusting to see like my entire life's work of fighting for people's rights be unalived in 8 years. It's nuts. Sad.
Yeah. I think the rhetoric around a lot of this shit is like, there's some people have the train of thought that like, rhetoric is just rhetoric, and I'm more concerned with policy and blah blah blah. But like, I think we'd be kidding ourselves to believe that rhetoric doesn't garner the support to create policy. Like it's exactly what Charlie's brand was going out into public, being a champion for owning the libs, recruiting young minds to the right so that they would go support the cause because they're young and impressionable. We know they don't think critically. I don't know how often you're talking. Like, I've got a rule typically on my lives where I don't talk to kids like 25 and under because it's always just nonsense. It's just troll. It's just like, it's never really critical or productive. And this was the target. Like, this was the mark.
Yep.
So
no, he was doing their agenda. I mean, that's why millionaires that came from, Tea Party decided to use him. And it was on their part, it was a brilliant strategy. And it really did work because they yanked in that youth vote.
Disappointingly effective.
Yep. Now DJ, let me go ahead and, normally I'm just been doing one at a time, but DJ had that comment that made me giggle. So
I didn't mean.
You didn't mean to come up?
I didn't mean to. No, my bad. No.
Well, I can drop you down, but if you want to make a comment, by all means.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you, DJ. And thank you for tapping. We'll see you. And to that point, guys, please keep tapping. We haven't even hit 5K likes yet. I don't know what's going on, but please tap. At any rate, no, it's I don't know. It's crazy what we see. What do you see from this, Antifa as terrorists? What is your prognosis on this? Like, what do you think is going to happen, practically speaking, what he's going to do?
I am expecting that this, number one, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know that at some point, someone is going to be announced with charges, and they're going to reference their social media account and how that person had Antifa in their profile description. This is going to be one of those things, I think, that's going to be similar to what's it called? Like the law firms where Trump was pulling security clearances. I think that they're going to wind up leveraging this to be like, listen, since you've been funding Antifa, we're going to either charge you with, domestic terrorism, or if you were to make a hefty donation to the presidential library or to the whatever, we could maybe look the other way on this. I think that behind closed doors, that's definitely what's going to happen. Straight up extortion. But publicly, I think they're just going to come out and be like, well, this boy went to a protest and he had a sign made and he bought that sign at a Staples. And Staples did business with this bank, which has an employee that has a social media account that says that they are Antifa. And so all of those people are going down with RICO fucking charges now. So it's going to be something like that. I don't know what form it's going to come in first, but I see this just as it being a mechanism that they're allowing themselves to use to just go after quote unquote lefties for whatever they want.
For sure. And to be clear, the statute, that they're going to use, it doesn't allow them to declare a domestic tea organization, for the record. So that when you look at the statute, it talks about foreign tea organizations. So it's just bullshit on its face. But I have a feeling that the Supreme Court's going to let this shit ride. Because
President Trump, within his authority, is going to just change the way that laws work. He's going to declare that I have the Article 2 power to do whatever I want, which includes domestic means and foreign means domestic now. And really, if you think about it, it's foreign is kind of the same thing as domestic, if you think about it.
Right. They're traitors, and therefore they can't be part of the United States.
They may be physically here, but they're not here, if you know what I mean.
Right. No, and then so you couple that Antifa T group crap with the FTC. Now he gets to fire the Rachel Slaughter, I believe her name was, and what you were talking about strong arming and basically bending them over and putting them in a bad spot. I think you're spot on with that, Vex.
the thing that bugs me about that too, now that you bring it up, is like whatever we see that's openly happening with the FCC chair being like, nice broadcast license you got there. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. Whatever that is happening, that he's just comfortable saying in public behind closed doors. Who the fuck knows how like actual like what actual malice they're working with there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they're willing to say that, who knows? I mean, I bet they're like disgusting humans in private. I bet they are. Well, Vex, let me go ahead and I'm going to drop you down. I got a couple of people here been waiting for a minute. I really appreciate it. You're welcome to come back up, as you know. And we'll see you later, man.
Yeah, you too.
Peace. All right, let me now. Danger, you've been again. You were up here already, so just sit tight. Let me get to, let's see here. Joe has no profile picture. I'm going to roll the dice on you, Joe. Don't disappoint me. And Pup, you'll be next. Joe is just buffering, so I guess we'll see. Joe, you're just buffering, so go ahead and request again if you'd like. And now we got Pup. Pup Ido. What's up, Pup?
Not much. It's Ito.
Ito. Thank you for the correction.
There you go.
What's up?
I just wanted to make a quick comment on the whole Antifa thing.
Sure.
It's just another one of the communist hunts from back when they did the whole communist trials to figure out who was communist, and they ruined people's lives. And it's just another one of those. They need someone to point a finger at. They made no real headway on the whole attacking trans people. They made no headway on attacking the gay people. So now they're going after this imaginary Antifa group.
So you
nobody
think
knows who actually heads it up.
You think that it will be more headliney and less practical use? Like it'll
pretty much because there's no law that says that being affiliated with a political movement is against the law, so long as you are not taking violent action.
Right. Yeah, and I don't even know that they can declare a domestic group, a T group anyway. By the statute that I've seen, it's a foreign. It's foreign groups.
It's the whole reason why the MSG group isn't considered a T group is because they're actually domestic.
Right. Born in LA, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean that's fair.
That was my comment.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I appreciate you pointing that out. Because if I can dive off the deep end, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Thanks,
I gotta go.
All right, we'll see ya. Thank you. Alal. And then Danger, you'll be after that. Alal, what's up? Or Alali? Alali, what's up?
Sorry, a mistake.
Oh, that's okay. I'll go ahead and drop you down. Thank you for tapping.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. Dangerfield. I hope Danger finally found the numbers on the on the scale. Did you finally see the numbers on the scale?
Yeah,
Danger?
I saw the numbers on the scale, and
good deal.
Then I changed my mind about the third step in stopping smoking. But in the meantime, you guys talked about so many things with Vex. The U.S. consumer pays the tariff. That's it. That's who ends up paying it. When I came back after Vietnam, the tax rate on the wealthy and big corporations that made money was 70%. Okay. It's now 8.25% after deductions. Okay. They get to deduct everything.
The corporate tax rate? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. It's supposed to be something like 35%, but they have so many deductions that it comes to 8.25. After the big beautiful bill, it'll be 7.8. Okay. We have an unemployment rate of 8.9% black, which didn't used to be, 5.5% Hispanic, or is it 5.9? I don't remember. And we have 4.5% YT. Okay. So this is a system that is not working. Okay, and part of the
Okay.
reason, as you know, is we're reenacting the Great Depression. The Great Depression started with uh, we were skirting a recession. The Grover, Herbert Hoover gets the Congress to enact the Smoot-Hawley Act, and then, oh, by the way, before he was talking about the McCarthy hearings, but anyway, the Smoot-Hawley Act comes in. He starts tariffing everything that comes into the United States. The people in the United States have to pay this tariff, not the
Right.
corporations. Okay, and then what happens? Gold spiked. Guess what? Gold is up $900 since January.
I wish I'd have bought some fucking gold coins or something.
Yeah, me too. Okay, it's the only other time that it went up, but it took 3 years or 4 years, was during the pandemic. This is in 8 months, not even 8 months, 7.5
So
months.
you think a recession is on around the corner, or
Oh,
do you think they'll be able to?
We,
Do you think
we
they'll be able
are
to
in a
kick the can?
recession. The final axe to the turkey's neck was when Hoover convinced the Fed to lower interest rates. And guess what?
Right. They just lowered
Within,
interest rates.
within a year after that, the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you fuck around and find out. I guess that's what happens, right?
Well, we'll find out. It's just that, all of these things happening at the same time, almost 100 years later.
Well, maybe it's
Things.
on purpose. Maybe he wants to
Well,
do it. Maybe
well,
that's his
maybe he
goal.
wants to do it. I'm beginning to think that I don't know if you ever read Mein Kampf.
I started to, but I haven't gotten
Okay.
through the whole thing. No.
The thing is to destroy your country and then raise it up from the rubble. This is what
And then
he
you can
thinks he's
say,
going
"Oh,
to do.
look what I did."
Yeah, and this is what he intends to do. The only chance we've got is win the House and the Senate so that we can overrule 9/10 of the shit that he's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the other side of that is that the billionaire class that he's cozied up to, and he has, despite what somebody that was up here on the panel earlier was saying, whenever a recession happens, they make out like bandits. They get to buy every fucking thing because it's on a fire sale. All these corporations and companies will go under, and they'll come in, they'll swoop in, they'll buy it up, they'll just further consolidate their power and control. You'll have everything run by 3 or 4 fucking companies, run by one of Donald Trump's fucking best friends.
You're
or
exactly
butt buddies.
right.
And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe that's why he's doing it, just so they can buy everything.
I don't know if you realize it. That's what's going on.
And Pyre, Pyre in the
That's why
comments,
he
you
has
are correct.
40,
By definition,
40
we're not.
billionaires sitting there. You know how if you made $1 million a year, it would take you 1,000 years to make $1 billion?
If you did what now?
If you made $1 million a year, it would take you 1,000 years to make $1 billion.
Well, if I made $1 million a year, I'd do that for like 5, and then I would just stop working.
Well, but that's what I did, except my mother and I had a joint account. And what happened was, she got hurt and they would not accept Medicaid or anything, and they looked at it not as 50-50 in the account. Because she had access to the account, we had to go through the whole thing. So for 14 out of the 17 years that she was in the nursing home, I had to pay between $10,000 and $14,000 a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A month.
And that was for the estate.
No.
For the property?
No, this is for her to be in a nursing home.
Oh, I see. Instead of Medicare paying for it, I don't.
Yeah, Medicare didn't pay shit. Nobody paid shit because we had the money. And unfortunately,
that's crazy.
I couldn't take my half. She had to take her half.
Wow.
And she had to take the whole amount. And so finally, when I was broke, then finally Medicaid came in. I was in Greece in about 35, 36 years ago. I went to the.
Okay, let's wrap it up. I've got a couple of people that are trying to jump on here.
Real quick. Okay, I went 4 years of college. I took the history of economics. I know it sounds crazy. I got a master's there, and I got free health care. So both were free.
Okay.
Meantime, my son-in-law, my nephew, has got to. He's 41 now. He got a master's. He got a bachelor's in microbiology from Penn State.
Okay.
So did his wife. And guess what? They can't buy a house. They owe too
because they
much
can't
money.
afford it, or I see, for student debt.
They owe too much money.
Yeah. I say fuck it, fuck them, fuck that debt.
Well,
take it to your grave.
Well, that's what they. I just.
Because what else do you do? What else do you do?
My daughter has MS. Okay, and I'm 74, and I just finished because she took too long. Wait, because she took too long. Because she had to end up in the hospital, she missed a semester. Because she took too long.
Dangerfield, I'm gonna have to move along.
Wait,
I've got to move along, buddy.
You have to know this, okay?
Quickly, please.
Quick, I'm trying.
Well, I told you to land it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, because she had to take it, she was past the age of 21 or 22. I took out the loans. I'm 74. I just paid them off.
Wow. Well, hey, good on you for doing that.
She went to a community college.
That's nuts. Yeah, college it's too expensive, for sure.
It should be free.
It should be. I agree.
I will leave you alone. Thank you so much. And I got to tell you, I love you.
Well, thank you, Dangerfield. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Hope you come back.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll see you. All right, let me, Jazz, and then Pyre, you'll be next. Jazz, welcome in. What's up?
How you doing?
Doing fine. I'm about to end the live, though, just so everybody's aware. Something came up. I'm not going to be able to do the whole live today. So, I don't know, maybe in a half hour or so, I've got to go. But go ahead.
Oh, fine. Did I forget to wear antiperspirant today or something? What?
Yes, it was you. You chased me off. No, I put your time back. Go ahead, Jazz.
I just, I like Dangerfield. I don't disagree with them or anything like that. I just am concerned that we use the word free so casually and liberally and inappropriately on all these different things. Free healthcare, free college, free this, free that. Bullshit. None of it's free. There's costs involved with all of these things. It's how we deploy the money that we give in taxes. So when you talk about okay, well, I want to give it my money. I want the money that I give in taxes to be used for uh, health care for me. How about that? Because that's
Okay.
really what's happening. We already, as a government, right? The government already pays for the health care for everybody that's in prison, which is a couple million people, already pays for the health care of all the people in the services, which is another couple million people, all the
So,
people in
well,
government, all the people in this, but we keep calling it free. It's not free. It's our
okay. So,
taxes.
what is the one word that you can replace free with? Because everybody understands that it's paid by somebody, right? I think we all get that. But if your contention is that we shouldn't use that word, what is one word that you can replace free with?
Wow, that's a good question. So here's the thing. I would like it to be paid for in the same way that our fire department is paid for. How do we pay our fire department?
With taxes?
Okay, so that's how I would like it paid.
So you say, I want tax funded health care?
Yeah.
So,
Single payer health care, Medicare
mean,
for all, health care for all of these things I think
okay.
is the same way. We don't really specify that the firemen are paid for by taxes, but it's known.
Do you think
It's a
that will
known thing.
get people who aren't in that camp to finally be like, oh, so it's not free, it's just tax funded? Do you think they'll like join our side if you change the language?
I don't think tax funded is a good way to do it. I think if you said, I would like our health care paid the same way as our fire department and police department and military are paid.
Sure.
That sounds to me a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of words, though.
Equally accurate,
it's sure, but it's a lot of words. Call it what you will.
That's true.
I just feel like people understand the implication of when you say like free college or whatever, because it's free to the people going there at the point of sale.
Yeah, like college. Like college, we pay for college K through 12. Why not K through 16?
Sure, we could call it commie college, right? That should win some Republicans over. Do you think?
Yeah.
Commie college.
That would definitely win the MAGA people over. On the other hand, I also think that corporations should be paying for college. Really, for all practical purposes, they're the ones that's utilizing the value of the college is for their
Or here's
purposes.
one for every fucking H-1B visa that you use and you import expertise in, you have to fucking put one person through college, one American.
Well, that's not bad too.
Maybe that's a good way to do it, because I know they were talking about, I think Trump had instituted $100,000 fee or something like that, which is very disruptive to a lot of fields. But maybe the answer is to just you put for somebody through fucking college in that same program. You pay for it.
I don't think that's so terrible what he did, adding a fee. The question is, where does the money go? Because the way his program goes is the money is to go for a tax break for Elon Musk and him.
And see, therein lies the problem.
That's not my best way to deploy our tax funds.
Right, because if you're going to use that, it should be to, instead of them having to, if they're having to go out somewhere else to get expertise, they should use that money to make the expertise here.
Yeah, make the problem go away.
Right. It's like, we need engineers. We don't have enough engineers. We're going to have to bring these people over. We're going to tax you, and then we're going to take that money and we're going to put it into engineering programs to make it cheaper to go through engineering school. What a novel idea. Who'd have fucking thunk it?
Yeah.
But don't say it's free, okay?
Well, I just got this. I just know that they go crazy when the word free comes up, and they're
always
not incorrect when they
free
say
is what they scream. Yeah, I'm yes. I mean, you're not wrong in that, but I think they'll bitch about anything. Honestly, I think they
they're kind of whiny. You are correct.
It's socialism. And
Well,
they complain when, I call them a fascist. It's like, y'all been calling me a socialist, commie, Marxist my entire life, so fuck you. That's
well,
that's
to
how I
be
feel about it.
fair, like we have a mixed economy. We don't. It's not entirely
Right.
for profit. It's not entirely capitalistic. Certainly, our police aren't capitalistic, and I'm certainly glad that they're not. Although they're starting to move a little bit towards that way. It seems like they trying to be a money making operation by giving out tickets sometimes.
Right. Well,
But I think that it's just a little sliding scale, and I'd just like to slide the scale over and have health care on the other side of the fence with the police and the military and fire.
Warrior, I was just about to add you since I'm going to be having to take off here soon.
I can drop down.
Well, no, I was just going to bring her up with us, at the same time, since usually at the last hour, I'll bring everybody on the panel, fill it up. So, Warrior, if you want back up, please request up. So the requests are open. You can come up here and join the panel. I got 17 minutes. So let me set this timer here. 17 minutes. God, what is that in seconds? 17 times 60. What is that? My maths ain't mathing right now. Let's see. That is 1020. Yes. And there we go. All right. So timer all live ends. Anyway, so was there anything else that you wanted to address since you're going to be hanging out for a minute?
I heard some people talking about this UN speech that Trump gave, and the problem is he's so erratic and irrational and crazy in the things that he does. When they tell me that he does these things, I'm always wondering if it's really true or not. Did he offer to rebuild their building or something like that for $500 million or something? Did he offer to rebuild the building?
I don't know. I did not see that speech. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't know if it's true or not.
You said it was in the UK?
In the UN. The UN building. I think he had a UN speech today.
Oh, today? No, I haven't seen that at all. Still going on, it looks like.
Foreign investment. And
oh, I see. This is
step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia.
Oh, God, he's such a fucking idiot. I can't do it. No, I've been on the live. I don't know when that started, but that actually makes sense because they had busted that SIM farm, that cell network or whatever with the 300 SIM servers, they call it, over 100,000 SIM cards for cell phones to send text messages and shit. They busted leading into this UN meeting. I don't know if the two are related or not, but they're not saying. They said it was tied to a foreign government. They didn't say which one, so I just have to assume it's Israel because they were always covering for them when they do bad shit. Like the dancing Israelis. I mean, that is the wildest story to me that you bring up, and they're that's a fucking conspiracy theory. You must hate Jewish people.
That one trips me up. How they're able to slip between anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism, and what's the other one? Holy smacks!
What?
Because not all Jews are Semites,
right?
A Jew hater.
And
those are
Palestinians are Semites too.
Yeah. So
they're anti-Semites.
They switch back and forth, So if you make an anti-Zionistic remark, then they can switch it around because they're almost using them interchangeably, where they do well, that's actually anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish, or you're a Jew hater. It's like, no, I'm pretty much don't got a problem with Jews or Semites. I'm just very much anti-Zionist, though.
That's like, me being critical of Russia. Oh, you just fucking hate Russian people. Why do you hate the Russians? What's wrong with Russian people? You're a bigot. Like, shut up. This is a government.
I mean, if somebody hated you as an American because they hated Trump, I mean, I would feel a little put off by that a bit. I don't consider the Russian people having a great deal of control over what Russia does.
Right. And I mean, at one point, the people in Israel were trying to get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu, right before 10/7. So, go fucking figure. It seems like they're somehow embedded somewhere when these crazy things happen. I don't know.
We have a guest again. We have a new party.
Warrior. What's up?
Hello. I wanted to ask you your opinion on what Donald Trump said about Afghanistan. What do you think about that?
Are you talking about the Bagram Air Base?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's a fucking idiot. I think Israel has asked him to do that.
Why would you do that to your own soldiers again? See, because I've grown up here, so I don't want to see when I say young, the young children who are 18 and 21 here are different from the 18 and 21-year-olds in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
And not only is it the young people, it's the poor young people.
Yes.
It's always the poor man.
The ones that want to go to college.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm the peace president. Let me take over this air base. I wonder if he'll actually do it, though.
And the base was made in 1950s by the Russians, actually. Yeah. They're like, no, we made it. We gave it to them.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really see the geopolitical connection with the base and
Oh, it's because I think Israel wants to invade China and they want to set foot in Afghanistan. I can just imagine.
That's not a bad connection because recently they've been, Israel said that they were going to, basically attack China from the inside, and because they were all there, they got Hamas. Chinese have Hamas. So yeah, you may be right because they did say that they were building nukes in Afghanistan.
Are they stupid?
I think they actually control everything, and that they have, and maybe they do. Maybe they have, because I mean, look at Mossad and what these fuckers are able to do. Those are some dangerous fucking people.
Even more so because they control the Epstein papers. The Epstein papers, you have.
But if you didn't, if you go somewhere and you lose 20 years, why would you go back there again? Why?
Israel, I think, had a hand in that too, in us going there.
Of course.
Yeah.
For once, I want a Trump supporter to hear this. When is the government of the United States going to make America great? When? When are we going to get free
after the
healthcare and free
rapture?
education?
It's coming after the rapture. They got to build the temple.
I was looking on the
sacrifice the heifer.
For some inflatable people to put out, pretending I was rapturing, but I couldn't find any.
Man. And I got a Christian attacked me, right? Not knowing anything about him. She's like, "Oh, you guys are bringing Sharia law here," and I said, "Listen, if you had Sharia law, you wouldn't be paying 33% tax, woman. If you had Sharia law, as a mother, you'd be getting subsidies. If you had Sharia law, you'd get other benefits as a divorced person, as a single parent." I said, if you had Sharia law, the rich and the poor would get taxed equally, and the rich wouldn't get away with half the stuff they do. I said, there wouldn't be no elites. But let's keep Sharia law out of here. I said, just say you're Islamophobic. I said, I'm cool with that. That's good. You don't like my religion, that's on you. But I said, Sharia law is not coming anywhere in America.
Yeah, I mean
But
the Christian version of it is coming here though.
It's here. What do you mean it's not coming here? It's here.
Yeah, but
Sharia
I
law?
thought America was
It's
about
coming
freedom of
here.
religion.
Go down the rabbit hole of freaking
It
Minnesota.
isn't.
Go ahead.
It isn't.
Go down the rabbit hole of Minnesota.
Show me a law. Show me the law.
They have their bad day cops put. What do you mean? I'm not
Show
going to
me.
sit here and.
You said it's here.
It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, I thought you said it was here.
Coming. Well, they have their own police force in Minnesota where it's the kind of, yeah, how do we say? They're kind of enforcing it, but not, it's not on the books yet.
Okay,
it's coming.
Then let me ask you, what is your definition of Sharia law, Joseph? What do you think that is?
Well, they're going to have their own courthouses. They're going to have their own laws pertaining to them. That doesn't, what do you mean? Verbatim, I don't know what Sharia law is, as far as
Then why
like
are
I
you
don't
so
have it in
afraid
front
of
of me. Because it's not how it's. I'm not afraid of it. That's just not my beliefs. So you want to
That's
shove your
fine. You don't
beliefs
have
down
to
my
go to.
throat?
You don't have to go to that
A
court.
liberal loudmouth will tell you, don't let a Christian shove his beliefs down your throat, but it's okay for a Muslim to shove their beliefs down your fucking throat.
Hold on, Joseph. It's not okay for any religious person to shove anything down my throat.
Okay,
let's be very clear about that. I don't give a fuck
well, I'm saying,
what religion,
was
whether it's
saying,
Buddhist
what's wrong with
or
Sharia law?
Muslim
What's wrong with
or
Sharia
Christian.
law?
I'm an atheist. I think all of this shit is whack to do.
I say that. I said the difference between capitalistic and Sharia, and no one's shoving it. When you're not educated, educate yourself. In Michigan, the police officers wear in Michigan, in this
You're right,
country,
it won't.
police officers wear
Well,
the
they're
word
trying
police
to
in
implement
Arabic.
it. Just saying.
The word the police
Pay
in Arabic,
attention.
and people
Don't
are
shake your
scared
head
of that.
no.
It's not happening, Joseph.
Look at Minneapolis.
You don't even know what it is. You just said you
took
don't
over
know
a
what
whole
it is,
fucking-
Joseph. Come
I'm telling
on.
you right now. I'll look it up right here. But we're running out of time. We'll take this up on another.
That's fair, but look, you don't even know what it is. Look, if somebody,
I don't know what is.
Tell me,
like,
what is Sharia law?
He doesn't know. He already said he didn't know.
It's abiding by their own laws. Don't drink alcohol. What do you mean? It's not. It's like you said. It's like saying to me. It's like saying to me, "What's American law?" There's millions of American laws.
Well, Joseph, can a community?
You always do this. You try to fucking nitpick about something fucking. I don't know every goddamn verbatim of the fucking Sharia law. You're right. But I know the gist of it.
Well, hold on, Joseph.
Well,
you said, hold on, Joseph. You said,
educate me what it is.
You said, and I'm certain that you said it's here, and then you said it's coming.
It is.
And I
Because
asked you, what is
here.
it? I asked you, what is it?
Right.
And you said you didn't know. That's not me nitpicking.
No, as far as what is it? Far as it's their law. It's how they prosecute their own people.
Okay, so are you telling me that a community...
Mr. Contra, you're the one that bash about how we're stepping on the Constitution, how we're bashing, we're stepping...
Christians also do this to themselves.
Our laws with their own.
What are you talking about? Christians and Catholics do it also. They judge themselves, they rule themselves in that way. But they don't pass laws that then are passed on to people who are not in the religion.
You're comfortable with it. That's fine.
Look, if Catholics want to say, if you're going to be in this congregation, you can't drink. That's a decision somebody has a choice to make. It's different from passing a statute that says, nobody here can drink, nobody here can do this, you have to wear a burqa. That is not the same thing as saying, in this community, if you're part of this religion, you have to abide by those things. That is, then what difference does it make? They have a right to do it.
So supersede. So if you're in this country, supersede your own laws to have your own laws.
If you're part of a religion and that religion says that you must do these things, and you say, I'm not going to do those things, and they say, well, you're not part of this religion anymore as a result of you not abiding by our religious doctrine, that is, what's wrong with that?
So you're muddling the waters where you're saying,
No.
like, in your own sect and religion, but they're trying
Oh
to
my
bring their
goodness.
own courthouses here.
Oh
They're
my
No,
they
they're
want to,
not.
God.
they've openly
Yeah.
fucking say it.
Where? Show me
Go
the
look at the
courthouse.
research. I will bring documentation of shit I've researched that's going on in Minneapolis that Ohar Milani just did a speech. They
Oh my
fucking
God.
on wide open camera. She fucking said she does not respect U.S. law. She wants Sharia law here.
Okay.
I will
And
show
did
you.
she bring it?
Fucking I will.
Look,
She's
look.
trying to. This is
Okay.
current.
This one person
She is
said,
fucking
we're going to
trying to.
bring
No,
Sharia
no.
law.
The whole fucking community over there, the whole fucking, they got the mayor. What do you mean? They're all
Joseph.
Somalians.
Listen.
What do you laugh?
Listen.
See, and they'll use the backs of fucking liberal
Joseph.
Democrats and then
Joseph.
toss you out when they're done with you.
Joseph, let
Oh
me be
my
They're going to
very.
use
Joseph,
you
hold
with
on.
your liberal ideas and then fucking toss you out to the trash
Hold
when
on.
they're fucking done with you.
Hold
This
on,
morning.
Joseph. Joseph, hold on. Okay. If somebody passes a law that dictates any portion of that religious bullshit onto me, I guarantee you I would flip the fuck out on it. And so would a lot of other people. You're talking about rhetoric that somebody said. You
That's
can't
not
point
rhetoric.
to a statute.
That's
You can't
not
point to
rhetoric.
a statute. You can't point to a
It's
policy.
not rhetoric.
You
They
can't
want you
point
to
to a
believe it's
rule. I'm
rhetoric
not done
and to
talking.
use key
I'm not
words.
done talking, Joseph. You can't point to a policy, a statute, or anything otherwise that says you must do this, even if you're not part of the religion. That doesn't exist. And if it did exist, if somebody tried to do that, Joseph, I would be right there with you to fight it. Okay?
Even if you don't live in that area? Even if you don't live in that town?
Even if I don't live in that area or that town. That's fucking A right, because we don't do that here. And I'll do it, and I guarantee you I'll do it when they fucking pass Christian bullshit laws. Why do you think I oppose Donald Trump? Why do you think I oppose the Heritage Foundation? Why do you think I oppose the Catholic Church diddling and meddling and all of our shit? For the same reason that you're pissed off about Sharia law potentially coming.
It's okay.
Except in this case, the Christians are passing fucking laws to dictate to you what they believe.
What's that?
AB laws. What do you think those are about? You think that's really?
You
It's
think
not about
Muslims
God.
believe in that?
It's not about
You think
God.
Muslims
I
believe
don't
in
care.
that?
I'm talking about
Why are you leaving
Christians.
them out of that?
The Muslims didn't pass it. The Christians
at
did.
least you'll have Christians
The
that will
Muslims
be
didn't
half
pass
like
it.
them and
The
half
Christians
won't be
did.
with the AB. The whole
The
entire Muslim
Muslims
community
didn't
is not
pass
about
it.
AB.
The Christians did.
See, they always get a pass. You always give them a pass. You always want to attack the Christians.
But these
Well, go
other
ahead.
people, they believe
So
that
the
too.
All right, you as a Muslim,
Wow.
you believe in abortion?
No one's forcing Islam on
I'm
you.
asking
Get
you a
over your
question. It's a
hate.
simple question, like they
Get
do to me. It's a
over
simple
your
question.
hate. Get over your hate.
Do you
Get over
believe in
your
abortion
hate.
as a Muslim?
Get over your hate.
It's not. I don't have hate.
If
I don't have
me and the
hate.
host are going out to eat and he wants to drink alcohol, I'm not going to prevent him.
You as a
But
Muslim,
I'm
are
not
you
going to
against
drink it.
abortion?
Do you get it? That's Sharia
She
law.
won't answer the question.
Do you
You as an
understand that?
you
Do you
answer it. I'm
understand
against
that?
abortion.
As a
But
Christian,
you still have
do
the
you
right to
believe
choose.
that?
I will say that. So there's a line. Just because I don't believe in it,
No,
but
you're
I
just
can't say for the next
Islamophobic.
person.
Get over it.
Why don't you
Get
answer
over
it? You
it.
scared?
Stop being
You're
afraid
fucking
of
right.
Islam.
But who'll attack the
Stop
Christians for fucking
being
being against
afraid
AB?
of
Joseph.
But you
Islam.
won't say boo about Muslims not liking AB.
Yeah. So
Ask
look,
her.
the
Ask
fact
And the
is,
Christians like
Why don't you
abortion?
ask her?
Joseph.
Why
Christians
don't
like
you ask her
abortion?
as a Muslim? Do you believe in abortion?
Okay, the fact of the matter is that Christians are the ones that are passing the laws dictating to us what their religion says. And I'm not okay with that. And if Muslims tried to do it, I'd have just as big an issue with them as I do with Christians. I just don't care. I don't pick one over the other. I don't believe any of it, Joseph. I think it's all just, people can believe what they want. Just fucking leave me alone.
Yep,
That's it.
I
I'm with you on
agree.
that one.
Religion cannot be
That's it.
forced.
Then
Religion
right there, she's
cannot
going to
be
use you and
forced.
toss you out when you're done with you.
Religion
That's
cannot
it.
be forced.
That's right. If your religion is great, people should want to be inside of it.
Absolutely. And the best way to talk about your religion is through an example. And I don't see Muslims knocking on everybody's door like Jehovah's Witnesses
You're
and
gonna, hey, look,
Mormons
I
and
know
all
your
that.
playbook. You're going to
Welcome
use
to
someone like
Christ.
liberal loudmouth and side
I'm
with
not
them
liberal.
and do
I'm
all
just a
that.
basic Muslim.
Let me
Okay,
ask, do you
you're
vote as a
afraid of
Muslim? Do you vote?
religion. Stop
You don't
being
participate in voting. Do
indoctrinated
you
by the
vote?
Western
Do you
society that
vote? But they're
Islam.
going to
Islam is
use people like
beautiful.
liberal
Okay.
loudmouth to get what they want and toss you
Wait,
out
whoa,
like
whoa, whoa,
fucking
wait.
garbage.
Who's going to
Yes,
use
she
people
is.
like me?
The
Who's going to
Muslim
use
community is going to use fucking people like you. Yes, they
to
are. The
do?
No,
Okay,
Democratic
so
we're
you
crowd are
not.
think?
going to
Hold on, hold
use
on, hold on.
you
No,
Okay,
we're
to
not.
you
capitulate
think
to
that
that shit,
somebody,
You are.
and then they're going to
Joseph,
toss you out like trash.
of all
That's
the
my
things,
that's my
of all
opinion.
the things
They're
you
going to.
know about me, you think that somebody can make me do something that I don't
Oh
want
my
to
God.
do?
Well, but
Really?
no, but they're going to use you because, far as they're using you because
They're,
of your what you
no.
stand for and your rhetoric, and they're
So
going to
you
act
think
like
I
they
come on his
back
page
you.
and I'm
You're going
coming
to
on
act
his
like you
page every
backed
day and I'm
you,
forcing
but they don't
Islam.
go vote.
I'm forcing this
You vote.
gentleman to be a Muslim every
You
day.
vote.
Hey, you
I'm
have to
asking you,
become
do you
Muslim.
vote?
You have to become
You
Muslim.
vote?
You have to.
You
No,
vote.
Okay.
no,
Because you don't
So
believe in voting.
no,
So why
no,
would you sit here and
look.
no.
push your
Shh.
rhetoric about A,
There's no
B, and all
Sharia
kinds of
law.
stuff?
Shh.
Yeah.
All the pew-pewing inside America, people going inside churches have been done by Christians.
Listen, don't even go
Homeland
down that rabbit
Security
hole.
crimes
They are
have been
theirs
done by
there.
white Christian
Your
males.
Islamic
White
faith is
Christian
fucking based
males.
on fucking
White
dying by the sword.
Christian
They are
males.
Okay.
responsible for more
White
massacres and more
Christian
killings than
males.
any
White
fucking one
Okay.
combined. I can
Christian
go down
All
that
right.
rabbit hole.
males.
I'll bring that
White
fat
The
Christian
live
Christian
back
is
on the
males.
over.
stage.
You guys have a great night. We'll see y'all later. Peace.